The Renaissance was a fervent period of European cultural, artistic, political, and economic rebirth following the Middle Ages, generally described as taking place from 14th century to the 17th century. The Renaissance promoted the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art. Some of the greatest thinkers, authors, statesmen, scientists, and artists in human history thrived during this era, while global exploration opened up new land and cultures to European commerce. The Renaissance is credited with bridging the gap between the Middle Ages and modern day civilization.
From darkness to light, the Renaissance began. During the Middle Age, a period that took place between the fall of ancient Rome in 476 AD and the beginning of the 15th century. Europeans made few advances in science and art. Also known as the Dark Age, the era is often branded as a time of war, ignorance, famine, and pandemics such as the Black Death. Some historians, however, believe that such grim deception of the Middle Age were greatly exaggerated, though many agree that there was relatively little regret for ancient Greek and Rome philosophies and learning at the time. Humanism. During the 15th century, a cultural movement called humanism began to gain momentum in Italy. Among its many principles, humanism promoted the idea that man was the center of his own universe, and people should embrace human achievement in education, classical arts, literature, and science. In 14 and 15, in 14 and 50, the invention of the Gutenberg printing process allowed for improved communication throughout Europa and for ideas to spread more quickly. As a result, for this advance in communication, little known texts from early humanism authors such as those by Francesco Petrarch and Giovanni Boccaccio, which promoted the renewal of traditional Greek and Roman culture and values were printed and distributed to the masses.
Renaissance Genesis. Some of the most famous and groundbreaking Renaissance intellectuals, artists, scientists, and writers include the likes of Leonardo da Vinci, Italian painter, architect, inventor, and Renaissance man responsible for painting the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Desiderius Erasmus, scholar from Holland, who defined the humanist movement in Northern Europe. Translator of the New Testament into Greek. René Descartes, French philosopher and mathematician, regarded as the father of modern philosophy. Famous for stating, "I think, therefore I am." Galileo, Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer whose pioneering work with telescope enabled him to describe the moons of Jupiter and rings of Saturn. Placed under house arrest for his views of heliocentric universe. Nicolaus Copernicus, mathematician and astronomer who made first modern scientific argument for the concept of heliocentric solar system. Thomas Hobbes, English philosopher and author of Leviathan. Geoffrey Chaucer, English poet and author of Canterbury Tales. Giotto, Italian painter, an architect whose more realistic depiction of humans' emotion influenced generations of artists, best known for his frescoes in the Selvani Chapel in Padua. Dante, Italian philosopher, poet, writer, and political thinker who authored the Divine Comedy. William Shakespeare, England's national poet and the most famous playwright of all time, celebrated for his sonnets and plays like Romeo and Juliet. Donatello, Italian sculptor, celebrated for lifelike sculpture like David commissioned by the Medici family. Sandro Botticelli, Italian painter of Birth of Venus. Raphael, Italian painter who learned from Da Vinci and Michelangelo, best known for his paintings of the Madonna and the School of Athens. Michelangelo, Italian sculptor, painter, and architect who carved by David and painted the Sistine Chapel in Rome.
Renaissance exploration. While many artists and thinkers used their talents to express new ideas, some Arabs took to the seas to learn more about the world around them. In a period known as the Age of Discovery, several important explorations were made. Voyages launched expeditions to travel the entire globe. They discovered new shipping routes to the Americans, Indians, and the Far East, and explored trekker across areas that were fully mapped.
Renaissance religion. Humanists called the Europeans to question the rule of the Roman Catholic Church during the Renaissance. As more people learned how to read, write, and interpret ideas, they began to closely examine and critique religion as they knew it. Also, the printing press allowed for texts, including the Bible, to be easily reproduced and widely read by the people themselves for the first time. In the 16th century, Martin Luther, a German monk, led the Protestant Reformation, a revolutionary movement that caused a split in the Catholic Church. Luther questioned many of the practices of the Church and whether they aligned with the teaching of the Bible. As a result, a new form of Christianity known as Protestant was created. And of the Renaissance, scholars believe the demise of the Renaissance was the result of several compounding factors. By the end of the 15th century, the most war had ployed the Italian peninsula. Spanish, French, and German inferred bidding for Italian terrorists caused disruption and instability in the region.